Okay, we are live. Happy Oscar Sunday, everyone. I just almost forgot that I was going to do 7 days in a row here. It's funny, I was just laughing. I've been like crying on and off for the last couple of hours watching the Oscars. I don't know if you were watching, but if you were, maybe you feel me. I get so emotional when I watch people not just give super inspiring speeches, but just people who've been chasing their dreams and who have put in tons of hard work and have failed a million times and kept going. And of course, some of the people do just a phenomenal job of getting up there and inspiring during their speeches. So anyway, lots of crying there. And it's funny, I was crying because of watching the Oscars, and then also crying because I got an email from a client who was sharing some results, and I was just like, I was going to read it out loud to Chris, the email, and I couldn't even read it out loud because I just got so emotional because I was so freaking proud of this client for what they've accomplished and how they're stepping to their power right now, and it's just like ridiculous. And I don't know if you can tell by the very barren wall behind me. Normally it's my vision board that's behind me. What's up, Sarah? What's up, Jenna? Congrats, Jenna, on your new post. Your new position. That was so awesome. I saw that the other day on Facebook. But yeah, Chris and I are moving out of our apartment tomorrow, and so we've been packing all day, and it's like, it's kind of starting to sink in, and I'm feeling very tender about our chapter here, and just feel like it's been a really wonderful chapter. And so I'm just like feeling all the feels, and then watching freaking Oscars and just crying my face off. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We are here because it's day 3 of the 7 days of self-mastery. Just a little spontaneous Facebook Live series that I wanted to do the other day. And I'll just quickly recap what day 1 and day 2 were. So basically, this was just my way of breaking down what I believe are some of the most fundamental building blocks of self-mastery and personal growth. So day 1 was about power of identity. So that's, to me, where really like the foundation of self-growth starts, is knowing who you are. And so I talked a lot about kind of dismantling the conditioning about who we thought we're supposed to be and all that, and just really coming home to ourselves and figuring out who we are at our core, and also who we want to be stepping into becoming. And then day 2 was knowing what you want, and giving yourself permission to own your desires and dream big, and not just have like good old goals, but to really challenge yourself and give yourself permission to dream. And day 3, as you can maybe guess at this point, is that if we want to actually move toward those dreams, toward those goals, toward those desires, we have to actually go and do stuff. So taking inspired action is the 3rd building block, in my opinion. And when I say inspired action, that's very intentional, because I think there are a lot of ways where we do take action and where we're kind of conditioned to and pressured to take action in our lives. But a lot of times that action is coming from a place of feeling like we should. And a lot of times the action we take is not particularly aligned with who we are and what we want. And the actions we take are like us looking around and just maybe copying others, because we're not really sure what we're actually supposed to be doing, right? So yes, we do take a lot of action. And what I'm talking about is taking inspired action that comes from that place of inner wisdom. And that's why I believe it's so important to know who you are and what you want in the first place, so that you can be coming from that authentic place when you're taking action. And there's something really beautiful that happens when you get more clear on who you are and what you want, and you start to, like I always talk about, transformation from the inside out. And it's like you're getting more and more connected with your inner wisdom, with your intuition, with source, spirit, whatever you believe in. And then when you take action from that place, has a very different energy to it than like, this is what I should be doing, right? And especially in the world we live in, where it's a lot of like busy, go, and be productive, and you're supposed to achieve and accomplish and perform, which is all fine and good. Like, I think having striving for excellence is awesome, but so many of us are trying to prove ourselves through our achievements, which I think can be really harmful. So taking inspired action, I think, is different. What's up, Jordan? Hey, Kendra. Inspired action to me is action that's really coming from the heart. It's coming from your soul. It's coming from a place of, I'm doing this because I feel called to do this. I'm doing this because I can't not do it. So just to be clear, that's what I mean when I say inspired action. It's this very like beautiful, connected, soul-inspired, aligned type of action. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is kind of how do we get through the things that prevent us from taking action? Because maybe you know where you're going, and maybe you're ready to take action, but maybe there are some things holding you back. There are some hurdles in the way, challenges, and I'll list just a few of the ones I see most often. Self-doubt is a huge one. I would say that's like across the board, just a very human experience. As we want to go do something. What's up, Chrissy? What's up, Jean? We see this thing, this goal, this dream, and we feel called to move toward it. We want to take inspired action, but then we get in our own way. We stop ourselves, we pull back because of self-doubt, because we are not sure that we can, because we convince ourselves that we're not ready. That's a really common one. Maybe we get caught up in perfectionism, and maybe we get caught up in overanalyzing or overthinking. That's something I see really frequently, especially in women, is that we think we have to figure out the whole plan first. You're like, I want to take action, I want to move forward toward this goal, but I have to plan out the whole freaking thing, and I'm not ready yet. I need to, do more research. I need to talk to more people, and we come up with all these essentially excuses for why we should wait, and we're not ready. And I see that holding people back so much. I know it certainly held me back. Like, I look at my life now, and I have really big goals and dreams, and I have a long way to go to get there, but essentially I am living my dream life now. And it took me a lot longer to get here than it could have had I not been holding myself back so much out of self-doubt and fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, fear of just looking like an idiot, whatever it is, right? All the different fears of. Another thing that holds us back, I think, a lot is just not being really clear on what the first step is. So I want to go do this thing, this huge project, but it's so overwhelming that I don't even know where to start. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to procrastinate. I'm going to start tomorrow. I can't think about that right now. And so it's like we come up with excuse after excuse after excuse, and we're really good at coming up with really convincing excuses about why we shouldn't move forward. And so my invitation to you, my challenge to you, is to just freaking start, and especially for those of us who get caught up in perfectionism, like, start anyway, even though you're not ready, even though it's probably not going to be perfect. What is perfect anyway, right? This perfect is the stupid ideal to go after, I think. And as they say, they being, I don't know, so many people, but I wish I knew who to give credit to for this phrase, but I think the phrase imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. I'll say that again, right? Imperfect action is so much better than perfect inaction. And I can speak to being someone who sat around taking really perfect inaction for a long time, right? Because I was just too scared to go after so many of my goals and dreams and desires. And now I'm in a place where I don't care if it's messy. I don't care if it's imperfect. I don't care if I've been crying for the last 2 hours when I'm going live. I said I would do it for 7 days. I'm doing, whatever it is, like whatever the thing is. There's, another thing that holds us back is, it just fell out of my brain. Anyway, if it comes back, it'll come back. But the point is, if you know what you want, just start, just do something. A lot of times we think we need more clarity or we need more information before we get started, before we take action. Like, I need clarity before action. Turns out that so much of the time it's actually the opposite. So much of the time when you take action, then the clarity comes, right? Like, here's where I am. I'm at A. B is the thing that I want, my goal, my dream, my desire, whatever I'm going after. And I have no idea what the strategy is or what the journey is going to look like from A to B. Like, let's say, I'll just pick a random one of my goals. So some of you guys know one of my big dreams is to be on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday program, or just on Oprah in general in any shape or form, right? And I'm like, at this point, I'm totally owning that dream. I'm really excited. I'm like, feel really confident it's going to happen, or something like it, or something better, or whatever it is. I have no idea how one gets there, but I'm not going to hold myself back from that dream. I'm just going to move forward. I'm going to do anything and everything I can to move in that general direction. And then as I take more steps, I'll get more information. I'll learn more. I'll figure out, okay, I'm going to take step one. And then from step one, I'll have a better vantage point, and I might be able to see, okay, well, what's step 2 after that, and then step 3 after that, right? So you just keep going. So that's my invitation to you today. After step one, well, and again, I was saying, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that all of this stuff is not necessarily linear, right? But these are just building blocks. These are different components of self-mastery, in my opinion. And so number one, getting more and more and more clear on who you are and just owning the shit out of that. Like the power of identity is massive, y'all. And then really getting clear on where you want to go, and then constantly updating that vision so that you can be course correcting and moving toward it. And then building block number 3 is to take inspired action, and should, take inspired action from the heart, from the soul, not from a place of should, not from a place of this is what everyone is telling you to do. Take it from a place of this is something that you are feeling called toward. And it's okay that it's imperfect. It's okay if it's rough around the edges. Just move forward, because your dreams, your desires, your goals, I believe, are so there for a reason, and you get to go after them. It's going to make you a happier person and the world a better place, in my opinion. So feel the fear, do it anyway, just get started, just move forward. And that is day 3 of 7 days of self-mastery, and I'll be coming back at you tomorrow with day 4. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. See if I can turn this off without knocking everything over. I have to actually take off the light first. Here we go. What's up, Christina? Hey, Justin.